in mind
if I could
just see you.
Hey everybody, welcome
Tonight.
to the Q&A for October. If you have questions that were asked in the month of October 2023, this is the video where you're going to get them answered. And if you don't see your question answered here, that's because someone, Aaron, answered the question in the Q&A thread on our Discord. We have a Discord. How do we get to the Discord? Go to our Patreon. If you're not already there, do that. Get there.
What are you doing?
You have access to a bunch of really cool stuff like signing up for our beta registration that by the time probably you're going to see this in the future, if you've not watched any of our shows and like say this is like a year down the road, isn't going to be relevant to you. But
who's watching
now,
the October 2023 Q&A?
I'll tell you,
this is the kind of thing I would
do.
binge when I'm hyperfixated on a thing.
Curious people who are hyperfixating.
Yeah.
So anyway, also if you found us from our Pokidoku videos.
Well, welcome back.
Oh my god, wait, age this fucking video.
So fast.
So anyway,
The
we
date
got
is the
questions
1st of November, 2023.
Remember the 1st of November. So we got questions. We're going to answer them, and then you're going to click on the next video and move on with your life. So let's go ahead and get started to speed
Maybe
this
they
up.
don't have to click on. Maybe by this time I'll have made a Q&A playlist so they can just like watch them
or
all in a
YouTube
row.
has autoplay. That could be fair too.
I fucking hate autoplay.
So first question comes from Catastrophe in the Discord. They say, what is your first or most nostalgic experience with Pokemon? I'm going to blanket this and say like anything Pokemon related. So if
Not
you have
just
a
video
nostalgic-
games.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Okay. I got a good one for this one.
Go ahead.
When I was 8 years old, I was a fucking dumbass and thought Santa was still real. And
Idiot 8-year-old.
and
What?
Now you know it's Delibird.
And now I know it's Delibird. And I remember I was really excited because at school I made like a little like wooden box out of like painted popsicle sticks. You know, like they used to sell those like green and purple
Yeah, like a
painted like
child.
popsicle sticks. And I glued it together and I
Like a
made like
whole
this really
kid.
cute little box. And then I insisted that my mother ship the box to Santa Claus because it was his present for me for Christmas.
As she should.
And that was like a month before Christmas. It was like still November. And
In
my
time
mom
for
thought it was
Christmas?
so cute that she went and bought a little. No, I would have. How old was I? Jesus, I don't even know. She went and bought a little like Piplup toy. No, I would have been older than 8. I would have been older than that then.
Yeah, you would have been.
Um,
That
We would
that
have been
wasn't
like
out
10.
when we
I
were
was
8.
I was a
Yeah.
dumbass. Anyway, I found out way too late. in life that Santa
Just to
was wrong.
clarify, that's a 2-year difference. That's not out of the question.
It's true. It's true.
To think that Santa Claus still exists.
And she went and bought that. And basically, I got an early present from Santa that was a little fucking Piplup because I had sent him a present. And I just remember having that thing. And it was like the cutest little thing. And like, I remember like being in like, because my house didn't have like interior heating. We had like a wood burning stove. So I remember like being in a blanket with my little Piplup next to like the wood burning stove. And it's like, I get
That's so
nostalgic thinking about that
cute.
all the time.
I misspoke. We were just 8 when Pokemon Diamond came out. Good job.
Vindication. Anyway.
Cool. I think there's a couple that I could say, like there's the easy ones, like obviously watching the show or like watching the movie. The most memorable movies, obviously, like the is it Pokemon 2000 with
Lugia and
Lugia,
Moltres.
yeah.
I almost said Lugia. I feel
no, I'm
bad. That's
kidding.
not Lugia.
That one's good. Also, the Mewtwo Strikes Back is good when they're like,
That's the one that I watched.
My brother. And they're like just smacking the crap out of each other. Really sad. But
Ash dies. Spoiler
in
alert.
the that's when Red takes his place. That's
I wish.
canon to the Unbeatable verse. But in the real world where real people are, Burger King, I think, gave out the golden Pokemon cards. Like
I have like
metal
4 of
thing.
those still. I still
At
have 4
my-
of those.
At my elementary school that I went to along with my brother. I doubt it's still there because it's been years, but I remember there like the rumor of the school was there was a kid who had a golden Mewtwo card that it fell into a drain pipe.
No.
And I remember everyone trying to get it. They would do the thing where they got like a piece of gum, stuck it to a string, and tried to drop it down and like get it connected to pull it back up. I don't think it was ever recovered, but if I'm ever in a pinch and need a very small amount of gold, I know where to go.
Kids
but
are
I'm
so dumb.
not gonna do it, but yeah, that was a really impactful thing. Also collecting the cards. I remember finding like the old like the dark Gyarados that had the R on it, and I was like, this is an evil Gyarados because it's on Team Rocket's team. And it was very good. But yeah, I think the dropping a golden Mewtwo card down a drain pipe, I didn't do it. Someone did at school, and everyone trying to recover it was very nostalgic.
What do you got, Burrty?
I'm struggling, honestly.
If you can't remember your most nostalgic, what was your first interaction with Pokemon? Because that's part of the question, is first or most nostalgic. We won't.
I'm the youngest of
8 years
three.
old.
I'm the youngest of three. So, but like my first interaction with Pokemon, I don't remember. Like that was my
valid,
kid.
actually.
My brother had a Pokemon, had a Game Boy Color with like Pokemon Gold on it, and I would have been like 3 years old at the time. So I don't know what my first. I mean, my most nostalgic like playthrough of Pokemon was probably Pokemon Diamond.
So you were, as we've established, 8 years old.
Yeah, because that was the first Pokemon game that I got that was mine.
Yeah, that's
that
a
wasn't
good one.
hand me
That's a
down
good
of my
memory.
brothers. So yeah,
What was
probably
it,
that
real
one.
quick, what was the starter for that one?
Piplup.
Incorrect answer. Should have been Turtwig, is all I'm saying.
I mean, I did
Kenna,
all
what do
three
you
at
got?
various
false.
times.
Piplup all day, every day. My most nostalgic one. So when I was in middle school, me and my middle school bestie both had Game Boy Advances, and mine was like the clear gray, and hers was like a solid
Probably purple.
purple. Yeah, I think it was purple.
Mhm.
And we both had Pokemon games. So when we would spend the night at each other's houses, we would play Pokemon on our Game Boy Advances next to each other. But when it would get dark, couldn't see anything. And her parents were always like, turn out the lights and blah, blah, blah. So we would fight over, y'all remember that small light attachment?
Plug-in one?
Yeah.
It was the
Like,
saving
put it
grace of many road trips.
Drain the fuck out of the battery so quickly.
We would fight over that, over who would get to play their Pokemon. And then
And
whoever
then the SP
would like
came
get
out.
it,
And you get
whoever
the backlight button.
would get it, we would like pull the thing in the middle, and like our heads would be smashed against each other, both trying to watch the same Pokemon
Crazy lamps
screen.
didn't exist. back
Oh my god. The moment I got the backlight attachment for my Game Boy Advanced, this is before even the SP. That was one of my first times. I must have been like 4 or 5. It's one of the first times I ever remember staying up.
Quick,
through the
Burrty,
night to
date
play a
it.
video
Figure it
game.
out. Figure out
Yeah.
when Aaron's calling this out.
Detective.
I genuinely remember like staying up all night just playing Pokemon, even though I was not supposed to be. So yeah. Oh,
I believe I wear glasses because I tried to navigate Pokemon Silver version through streetlights only. And I can guarantee back then, if you asked,
I remember
like,
that experience.
6 or 7-year-old Matt, when like how to get through the dark cave without flash early to get all the items and then leave.
Could have done it.
He could do it. Blind,
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, my eyes hurt so much now thinking on it because I had to just like squint and then tilt the the
Because you're doing the
screen
thing
flat.
where you like it comes by and
You
then
have
you're
to
like
wait
trying
by
to
the screen
follow
light
it.
and then be like,
yeah.
yes, okay, up, down. Like,
Kids,
it's like, ooh.
children have such a massive capacity for taking on information, and we filled that with so much crap.
Bullshit.
I could have
Bro,
learned.
what a good
I could have
question.
learned another language.
I want to shout out Catastrophe. This was a great fucking question. It got me immediately in the mood for this. This is good.
All right. Next question is coming from Yamato Hikaru, which their question was, we know everyone's favorite region, pretty sure it's been asked. However, what is everyone's favorite character in the Pokemon anime? And why is it the Team Rocket Trio?
Team Rocket Trio is up there, dude. Specifically, James is up there for favorite.
I think I like James
Pokemon.
more in Diamond and Pearl when we learned about his backstory.
His
with the Carnivine
backstory
stuff.
and like his Growlithe that he had when he was a kid.
And then
I
what
don't
was
know
the
if you guys
Pokemon he
this lore. It
got?
was great.
The floating chime one?
Chimecho?
Chimecho, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Super, that was a good episode. But I think my favorite character of the
Such a hard question.
I wouldn't say he's my favorite, but a very memorable one is what's his name from Johto with the camera, or he's the painter. Can't remember.
Oh, Tracy, the one who
Yes.
would like do the sketchbooks. Yeah, Tracy was
he
cool.
was cool. But
He was specifically the Orange Islands. That was like right between Kanto and Johto.
I think I might say, I don't know. Dawn's cool. I'd probably say May and Max.
May and Max is great. Max, dude, the Jirachi movie with Max like still makes me cry to this day.
Yeah, and that's also again, I'm very particular to Hoenn, so that's probably why I remember them so much. But
well, what you got going on, Burrty? What are you thinking for the Pokemon anime favorite character?
If we're talking about like human characters, like Dawn probably is cool. And if we're talking literally any character in the whole anime, then probably Pikachu.
Pikachu is the protagonist the show needed, whereas Ash is the protagonist it got.
Just like Gotham.
All right, Kenna, do you have a particular favorite character from the anime?
Not necessarily one that comes to mind. I didn't honestly watch the anime a whole bunch. If there's anything specific that I remember and loved, it was probably the Squirtle from the Squirtle Squad.
That's fucking great episode. And then did you know that they got like reunion episodes later on in the show that we can go back and watch at some point?
I think I saw clips, but I never watched the episodes.
Okay. If I had to go like human characters, I think it is going to be James. I identified it with him very much. If we're going all Pokemon characters, there's actually I think a lot of Pokemon that get really good arcs across the entire show. And Ash's Sceptile is one of my favorite Pokemon characters that has ever been written. That dude went through a lot. Big fan of that guy.
I think if this video gets 100,000 likes, Aaron will dye his hair purple.
I'll do it for 100,000 likes. That's true. It's not gonna happen.
I know. I'm speaking into existence. I'm gonna do this every Q&A in the future just to ensure in case we get those numbers.
Raise the stakes. It'll happen one time.
Next question comes from Toadadoodle. And they say, I feel like this is pretty standard because they haven't seen it asked through their small amount of scrolling. So if we double dip on questions, it's fine. But what is everyone's favorite Pokemon and type for their favorite Pokemon, the favorite... Okay, that's the same thing repeated again. Or I'm just not good at reading. But for some of them, they're different. For instance, its favorite is Totodile, but their favorite type is Ghost. So do you have a favorite Pokemon, and does the type match that? Yes or no? Mine is yes, because it's just the entirety of Mudkip all the way to Swampert. Groundwater is the best type because it is just so good. Just don't get it near grass. That's it.
4 times super effective grass.
It's fine.
Don't let it get near there.
We'll dodge it.
And Oddish will fuck you up.
Well, it'll only mess us up if Kenna can remember it.
Yeah, if Kenna can remember that Oddish exists. We were going through a game earlier. And
There's
Kenna
no reference to this.
Oddish.
Why would you bring this up here? No one knows what you're talking about.
And that's what opportunity to clown on you is the thing.
Oh my god.
Okay, but does anyone have a favorite type that is different from their favorite Pokemon?
Yeah. My favorite Pokemon is Squirtle, but my favorite type is also Ghost.
Oh, so you also went with a water starter. Water starter.
Water starter.
And Ghost type. That's good to know. Worcestershire.
I guess Starling through Staraptor. And I don't know if
we know it's not
type
dragon type. We know canonically you fucking hate dragon types.
Love dragon types. I just think that they don't play with the type system
in a
fun enough way.
Wow, look Bugle in the face and say,
Bugle's not
sorry,
not
bud,
a dragon
you're
type.
not fun.
Dragon type.
You're not fun.
Not
sorry.
yet.
I hate
Not
you.
yet.
Also, Bugle will be a water dragon type. So,
let's see here. I struggle because like my favorite Pokemon on any given day is tied between 3 Pokemon. So on some days, yes, the ground type and Flygon are both on the same level. But on some days, Spheal and the ground type are not. And sometimes Misdreavus and the ground type is not. So
I feel like one of those is more recent than the other two, right?
Why you clowning on Misdreavus, bro? We love Misdreavus.
Can anyone run the tape back and decipher where I
pointing
clowned?
it out? Why are you pointing it out?
I'm just making conversation.
You
Aaron,
acting like a clown.
We're trying to entertain you.
I'm being defensive about this. I will fight you.
I don't know.
Matt keeps bringing up the fact that I like Misdreavus, and it's a relatively recent thing.
It only recently became a relevant thing within the past 2 years, and I was like, I'm curious about that, and that's an interesting thing because usually I like the Pokemon once I see it and meet it, and then I'm like, That's a lifelong thing. So to have something where it's like, ooh, I do now start liking this Pokemon, I find interesting. So
that's true.
That was my
The problem
Q&A
is I can't share the source of why I like Mischievous so much because it's something that I'm not linking to Unbeatable in any way yet.
Oh,
You killed a man in 2014.
Yeah, I killed a man.
God.
It's me.
In Minecraft.
I'm not hearing this.
I'm sure because we get questions like this a fair amount, and I always go to Starly and Staraptor. But yeah, I don't think I have a specific favorite type because I don't like Pokemon for like that kind of. I like I have two Pokemon that I feel some kind of emotional attachment to because they have memories attached to my childhood, and that's Starly and Leafeon.
Leafeon's great. There's a reason why your sister character in the game has a Leafeon, because I wanted to represent something that Burrty very much loves. That's why it got put in the video. Got put in the game.
Leafeon was.
I couldn't see you getting an Eevee anytime soon. So
Leafeon was the first Pokemon I ever got to level 100.
Oh.
If Aaron gave any of my family members a Mudkip, I would kill him. I couldn't do it.
But I don't like them for any specific reason besides the memories attached to them. So I also don't think I really have a favorite type. It depends on my playthrough.
Aaron, I would cry if we get all the way to my dad's gym and he pulls out like a Swampert. I would be like, I would leave the game, go on the nearest flight to where you are, and find you.
Okay.
Cool.
Anyway,
Left.
For legal reasons, I would just be saying if Aaron does this, I'll go on vacation. I'm crazy.
We're gonna give Seth's nibbling a Mudkip, and then watch Seth backhand his nibbling to get it.
No, I'll just be like, oh, so we traded, right? So you have this Pokemon now, and
right,
I have
guys.
this Pokemon. Next question
We're
is
3
coming
questions
from
in.
War Greymon. You guys mentioned Critical Role last time. Who's your favorite character/player, and also do they give you inspiration for deep character development?
Caduceus Clay, Taliesin Jaffe, yes.
Sam Riegel, Scanlan Shorthalt, yes.
Percival Frederickstone with Muscle Escadrilla III. Taliesin Jaffe. Sure. Yes, I guess.
I don't have a favorite. I really like all of them. This is really
Watching
hard.
the 3 of us stare at Kenna and just go.
Really difficult.
Answer the
Here,
question,
Kenna, just go like this,
Fun
and
fact.
I'll talk for you. I got you.
No, I can't.
I got
'cause
you.
I
Go ahead.
also really like.
I like Ashley Johnson, and I like Yasha.
That's fair.
Actually, I can see Kenna being a big Yasha fan. That actually makes sense.
I
Fun
did
fact,
really
I
like-
met Laura Bailey last weekend.
Good for you. Good for you.
Fuckers.
Yeah.
I'm
MCM
incredibly
London
jealous.
Comic Con, right?
Yeah, we got a photo up with her.
A lot of letters.
Did you post it?
Awesome.
Somebody did. That was in that group. Somebody somewhere did. Are you gonna
It's
go
gonna
grab the
go right
video?
here
I
on the
can't-
screen.
I can't- hang on.
No, it's not.
Yes, I can. Grab it.
Okay. Weird. Okay.
We'll pull that back up when we're through another question. We'll get him in a second. Next question.
All right. For
Wait,
the
does it help with your
professor.
character development?
It's for you.
You're the only one who hasn't answered that. We all answered that question. You're the only one who didn't. We were giving you a pass.
You were almost out, and then you turned
You
back around.
reminded the teacher you had homework when you didn't do the homework.
I would like.
You're
I
the
would like
you're
to.
the final person in a horror movie that's about to leave the dungeon of evil, and they're like, I gotta go back and get my necklace
Yeah.
because of sentimental reasons, and then you go back and lose like a limb or something. I don't know.
I would like to rescind my question.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
But yes.
next is coming from Sweet Tea for the professor. You've said that you've used both the games and anime for inspiration for creating your world. Does that mean that my favorite trio, Jesse James Meowth, is running around in the world?
They're dead.
Next question. So we have Rocket.
Yes, they are.
Is that
they
the
are.
is that the
They
third
keep
fact?
pretty
that
old
the-
by now.
The thing is, I'm gonna be honest. It's a duo now. You gotta figure out which member isn't there anymore.
Meowth
think I
died
know.
of old age.
Anyway, keep going. I don't want to go deeper than that.
I'm using Twitter to decipher. Okay, so next question is coming from Rocker CCR9. There are aspects of Pokemon that you play competitively, such as VGC or TCG.
Nope.
Do we do Pokemon competitive stuff? No.
Nope. Nope. Not at all.
We're not
I've
good enough
never
at the
touched
game
it.
for
She's
that.
You wanna know why?
really good.
I like myself. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt my own feelings like that.
Okay, so next question comes from War Greymon, my favorite Digimon. Just kidding. I don't know if I said that was my favorite. Look back at the Digimon.
We have an episode about Digimon. Yeah.
I
think you did
in the
say
thing.
Greymon.
It's
Yeah.
further in the thing. Anyway, who is an antagonist that you can sympathize with, and what would their starter Pokemon be? Clarification: any antagonist in any medium or genre. Graham, I think, is misunderstood.
Oh, we were talking about any. They said any media or genre. So like,
no, I just wanted to get Kenna's reaction. That's why. I think.
I got one. Baron Zemo from the MCU specifically, and he would have a Bisharp. That's all I'm saying.
It would be Killmonger is the villain,
Also MCU.
and also MCU, and a Primate, which he would eventually evolve into an Annihilate. Or a
That'd be dope.
Mankey, rather.
Good, pretty good.
So, Princess Mononoke,
Okay.
but Lady Eboshi.
Lady Eboshi's a great character.
And honestly, I feel like Lady Eboshi would have
I have such a hard
probably
time
a
deciding.
Charmander.
Yeah, like you said Lady Eboshi, and I was like, is she an antagonist? I'm like, I guess yeah, she is totally an antagonist of that movie. But there's so many like her with a
Mhm.
Charmander would be so cool.
I
Yeah.
feel like don't know who this character is because I've seen you guys watch Princess Mononoke like 40 times.
It's my
and
favorite.
I've always
Ghibli
jumped
film.
in at either the beginning or end, and I'm like, I'll come back and watch it at some point in my life, and that has yet to come. So
We got to
I'm
get you
gonna
to do it one of these days.
take
It
your
is
word
it is
on
She's the-
genuinely my favorite.
She's the
Ghibli
lady that
film.
made guns.
Yeah.
Without spoiling a whole bunch of other stuff.
I want
Should
to
watch
say
Princess Mononoke.
picking
good.
picking a villain or an antagonist, I do not sympathize with them because this is a terrible person. But Griffith from Berserk, again, I do not sympathize with this person. They're a terrible person. They are terrible because I was like, oh, who's a villain? And my brain was like, Griffith. I hate that guy. And then it was like, you can sympathize with. And I was like, I can't do that. And their Pokemon, they don't deserve one. But I don't know, like an Armarouge or something edgy.
That'd be yeah, I see that.
Ooh, I have a good one.
Okay, go for it.
Dracula from Castlevania, Gligar.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yup.
I'd like to posit
Yup.
a Woobat instead.
No, what?
A woo.
Let's go with
Because
the
it's got
Woobat.
wait, but it does have little hearts for eyes, which makes sense for when his wife shows up, and nothing bad ever happens.
I've never
to her.
seen the show. I don't care. I
Ever.
just think he's a vampire. Or he's a
Nothing
bat.
ever happened.
But
Nothing bad ever
Gliscor
happens
looks
to
like a
Dracula's wife.
vampire.
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm
but
with you
Woobat-
on Gliscor.
But Woobat.
Shut up, Matt. You didn't watch the show. Watch the show, and
But-
Burrty will watch an anime.
No, I did, and I can guarantee that won't happen. Okay,
next
so
question.
you
Don't
can
promise
work
things
that
on my
one. Okay.
behalf, Aaron.
Okay, Blade has this question. I don't remember if this was asked before at some point. I don't know. Let's rewatch the other one, guys. And how do you set prices for items in the game? Do you do it just for a one-for-one for the video games, or is it based on the city? And how do you adjust pricing for Pokemon purchases? I got this one for you, Aaron.
Mhm.
One-for-one on the game. It's too much
It's
work.
pretty close to 1-for-1 on the game. I might
Yeah.
change like the occasional thing,
Unless
but it's pretty
like,
it's pretty
this
close
is
to
too
1-for-1.
rare, then just like
Mhm.
bump it up by an extra. Big it only affordable 2 Vermilion. That's the point. Is what Aaron does.
I'll say
I don't
because
know.
because we don't get into as much battles as you do in the video game, we also don't earn as much money as you do in the video game.
That's true.
Uh,
Unless your name is Seth, in which
I got
case
a pretty good stack. I'm
Seth
pretty
recently
happy.
got some money in an
A
episode that we
small
recorded. I
loan
don't think
of
it's out
billion
yet, but he got
tokens.
some money.
Get a small loan. Toadoodle has the next question. Since the system's focused more on RP aspect of tabletop, so different Pokeball types have any buffs?
Yes, go read the beta documents on our Patreon website. You'll be able to see what some Pokemon buffs might or Pokeball buffs might look like.
That's crazy. Okay. Danosaur. Danosaur says, I've been playing Spider-Man 2 for most of the week. What do you think their Pokemon teams would consist of? Either Miles and Peter. Let's stick to one Pokemon.
Well, one Pokemon each.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say that's gonna take a while.
Let's see here. I'm gonna out of left field. I'm gonna go Peter. I'm not going Spider theme because it's too easy to go for a Spider Pokemon. Peter would have a Victini because even if Spider-Man is always catching L's, at the end of the day he always comes out the winner. And Victini as a Pokemon has the lore of its trainer literally cannot be defeated. It does not lose. It is the W Pokemon.
Aaron, can I get a Victini?
No. Maybe.
Asking,
I don't know.
Asking for a friend.
So one of the things with Unbeatable is legendaries can be befriended, not caught. So if you guys befriend a Victini, potentially.
I'll totally befriend a Victini and then just get the permanent character buff is I can't lose.
I can't lose. I will stay unbeatable.
Truly unbeatable.
Yeah, I gotta.
Yeah.
I'm guys.
I've
you don't know
never
how
seen
hard
this
I'm
Pokemon
fighting to
before.
keep the title of this show running.
Oh well, Victini's one of those like
Movie ones?
post game like movie like
Okay,
Pokemon, like event Pokemon.
I like it.
Speaking of DLC stuff, this is totally separate. In the Hoenn games, on like the Game Boy Advance cartridges, did anyone ever get enough stars to go to the space station to go to the moon, or was that just people? Was that fake? I can't remember.
I've never heard of what the fuck you're talking about right
We'll talk
now.
about it later. Anyway, but I would say for Miles, I was thinking Gavantula.
Oh, because it's an electric spider?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Very on the nose.
Wait, you can totally get to the fucking moon? What?
Yeah, you have to get. It was like you had to get enough stars.
What the fuck?
On your trainer badge.
I'm
and then you go to the
literally
space
finding this out
station,
right now.
You fly to the moon, and that's how you get Deoxys.
I'm literally finding this out right now.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's crazy, man.
I have played through Pokemon Emerald over 500 times. I have
I did
never
it on
known
Ruby,
this in my
and
life.
I don't think it was. I don't know if they put that in Ruby specifically, but it was definitely something that I could not do as a child and didn't understand what I was trying to do, aside from just seeing YouTube videos.
Fuck you, Matt. I have no spare time now. Now this is what I'm going to be doing for the next, like, however long this takes.
No,
Dude, let me know.
no.
I'll be there with you. Next Unbeatable stream, Aaron and I go to the moon. we pull an Inaru. Okay,
Pull
next
an
question
Inaru.
comes
pull a
from
72-hour
the
live
homie
stream.
Yamato Hikaru again. Because it's so close to Halloween now. Yep, it's right around the corner.
Right around the
would
corner, it's not
players
yesterday.
in Vermilion dress up as for Halloween and their starter Pokemon, if they would allow it? What would you and your partner Pokemon dress up as for Halloween?
Okay, question. Before we answer this question, do we allow Pokemon costumes in terms of like people dressing up like Pokemon, or are we just saying in general what would they
I'd say
dress
people
up
dress
as?
up like Pokemon.
Okay. So if your
And
trainer
does-
was gonna dress up in a Pokemon costume, what would it be? Or even just a
Oh.
non-Pokemon costume, but just a costume in general. Like what Coryne dressed up as for Halloween?
Corinne would dress up
Yasha
as a
from
joy.
Critical Role. Is that a joy? That'd be funny. I got a couple different ones for Vermilion, but I think I've got one that's pretty good. I think Vermilion would go as Pennywise from It.
Ooh, yeah.
I think Seth would probably dress up like a.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I think Seth would dress up as a Pokemon Ranger, I think. And then Bowie would dress up as a Mudkip. Or Seth would dress Bowie up as a Mudkip.
That's funny. Here's your costume, bud.
Totodile. Whatever.
Toda. What about you, Burrty?
Gavin would dress up as a
Ava can't wear
Phalanx,
costumes.
and he'd just lead his Phalanx Pokemon around.
Oh,
the
he would be the
party.
new brass?
Oh,
He
wow.
would be the new brass.
You would
That'd be
give your
pretty
top
good.
brass such an identity crisis.
Oh. No, wait, but how great
Okay.
would it be to also get all of your other Pokemon to dress up as Phalanx? So it's like 12 of you in a line
That
of
is what-
Phalanx.
That is now canon. That is what
Yeah,
happened.
that's
Wrap
what we
two
do.
pot lids to Ava's wings. Just
So
like
that
just hop.
Halloween, like canonically in World, Halloween is past the Indigo Plateau tournament. So this would have to be a season 2
Oh, that's
thing.
a shame.
Yeah, because we're in what, March? No, end of
I mean,
February.
We know
Yeah.
Halloween exists in Pokemon because the Catholic Church exists in Pokemon. So-
That's true. That's true.
Great question. Next question comes from Flick. I know I'm technically late asking this question for Aaron, but
That's
how do you
fine.
handle fishing if your players wanted to do that?
Well, they technically have. They have
tried.
a rod. I don't think. Yeah, like they haven't really gone a whole lot of fishing done. But basically,
we
it's
did
just
try.
it's.
I don't know.
You
We
did
caught
Yeah,
Vermilion.
we
We
You
caught.
did catch Vermilion. That did happen.
We caught.
That's
I
what
think
the fishing
two
rod
of
was
them
used
again a
for.
second time. It was a lot of fishing for humans actually.
I tried to fish out the back of
Basically-
that boat one time, nearly lost the rod, and slashed up Corinne's hands trying to get it back.
That did happen. That did happen. Basically on like. Just like in like a route encounter table in the games, there is a fishing encounter table, and I have encounter rates based off of the like the level and likelihood they run into something is based off of what rod they use, and then other than that, it's just an encounter table of what Pokemon they run into. Like it's super simple. I try to like that phrase that they yell at you a lot when you're like a teenager trying to get things done of like keep it simple, stupid. That is the main philosophy when it comes to encounter tables, because if you overcomplicate those, you're gonna be real disappointed on how much stuff doesn't come up in a game. It's wild. Okay.
Last question comes from Odie Diddy. What are the characters' favorite horror movies?
Oh, I already answered this one by saying what Vermilion would dress up as.
I think Seth would have it's one of those in-world movies that are meant as like it's like, obviously, you know, everything's kind of like really campy and over the top, but it would be Palisand. The Shoveling is the name of the movie.
The Shoveling?
Yeah, and it's just all these people go to the beach and they're like, oh man, this is such a good time, but then their friends slowly start disappearing one by one, and then it's because there's a haunted, ghostly Palisand on the beach that
dragging
is
people down,
secretly just wanting to make inside of the Palisand there's a big giant party castle, but no one knows that until the end of the movie.
Isn't there genuinely like an actual film like that? Like I remember there being like a not good movie about like people stuck on the beach because something was eating them when they went into the sand.
Oh no,
no, I'll look it up later, but I genuinely
Tremors.
No, it was very Tremors-esque, and that's why I was like, yeah.
Riddick?
No, it's not Riddick. This is like a bunch of like 20-somethings on the beach.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Also, Halloween Candy.
There's a movie called The Sand in
Anyway,
2015.
we'll find it out later. What about you, Gavin? What about you, Coryne?
Gavin's favorite horror movie is the real life documentary Pokemon: The Rise of Darkrai.
That is
a
a
horror
fucking
movie?
horror movie, actually.
If
If you live in that world, that's fucking scary.
Yeah, but his actual, I guess, if we're talking about real life horror movies, his favorite horror movie would be the only horror movie that I really like, because I'm not really into horror movies, which is Alien.
Alien's a fucking great movie. Alien's a great film.
Corinne's is Yasha from Critical Role.
No. No. I think Corinne's would probably be something like Housebound. Have you guys seen that?
Nope, no idea what that is.
Housebound.
Oh,
That
it's
sounds familiar.
I think it's a New Zealand movie.
2014. Let's see here. Let's see. What's this?
Housebound.
A would-be thief, Morgana O'Reilly, is remanded to the custody of her estranged mother, who turns out to be correct in her assertion that evil spirits are afoot in their family domicile. Interesting.
What a sentence. Evil spirits are afoot in our domicile.
Oh my god, I'm looking at images of this fucking movie, and it's horrifying. Holy shit.
But it's actually really funny.
So it's not a horror movie.
I mean, it could be a
It
horror
is.
comedy.
No.
That's a thing. Have
But
you seen
it's
anything
really
that Jordan
funny.
Peele has
Quality
ever
is
made ever?
Very, very interchangeable. But those are our answers for scary movies. We'll leave everything with a question for you. What are your favorite horror movies for the spooky season? Answer in the comments. And what's your favorite Critical Role character? Mine too. But this has been our video
Shout
for
it out,
the
everyone.
October Q&A. So if you have any more questions, get in our Discord, which is in our Patreon, which is on the link in the description
Can you
below.
say adios? Adios.
Adios.
Bye.